Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm sharing another project using the Not Too Shabby Box of the Month. This fancy fold Valentine card is created using components from that kit. I'm going to show you how to assemble the card and share a few creative tips along the way. If you missed my previous projects, let me share real quickly what comes in this collection. You'll be receiving 2 paper pads, the Somebody Loves Me and Best Friends. Both of these are 6x6 double-sided patterns. There are also 2 packages of ephemera, which match the pattern papers, and 3 stamp sets. The project I'm sharing is a fancy fold card using the Somebody paper pad and Loads of Love stamp set. I'm going to walk you through the process to create this card and share some alcohol marker coloring tips with you as I shade in the images. You will need to start with a piece of cardstock that is cut at 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches. I'm going to use a light pink color, but you can select any from your collection that matches the paper you plan to use. This is going to be scored at 2 3/4 inches and 5 1/2 inches. I'm placing the longer side towards the top of my paper trimmer and using a bone folder to score each of the lines in the cardstock. Now I'm going to cut down some of the pattern paper sheets. I need to cut one at 5 1/4 by 4 inches, then 2 pieces at 4 inches by 2 1/2. I'm using the same pattern for all 3, but you can choose different patterns if you like. Make sure to pay attention to the direction of the patterns so that you don't cut the trees or hearts or bunnies going the wrong direction. The second piece of cardstock is a gray color, and I'm cutting it to 10 inches by 2 3/4. I'm going to score this along the longer side at 4 3/4 and 7 1/2. On this piece, you're going to need 2 pattern papers. One is cut at 4 1/2 by 2 1/2. The other is cut at 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. I'm also going to need 2 pieces of white cardstock. One needs to be cut at 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/4. And the other is for my stamped image, so I'm going to cut it at 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. Again, pay attention to the patterns as you cut these. They're going to be vertical on the card, and some of those patterns might look a little bit off if they're cut in the wrong direction. Now, if you've missed any of the measurements on this video, I am going to place them on my website today. So feel free to go ahead and click that link down in the description below so that you can get a list of all the measurements to create this card. I'm going to fold the cardstock pieces. The larger piece is a mountain fold first, then a valley fold. This is what it's going to look like once it's folded. The smaller piece of cardstock will be folded in the same manner with the larger portion towards the top. So once this is folded, this is what it's going to look like. Before I adhere these together, I'm going to stamp the truck image onto the white piece and stamp my sentiment. I am using an ink designed to work with alcohol markers so that I can shade this in with my TriBlends. I'm also going to stamp the tailgate portion of the truck onto a second piece of cardstock so that I can cut this out and pop it up on the card. You're welcome to skip this part if you wish. While I have my stamping platform out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that sentiment onto the smaller white piece. I'm using the phrase Hugs and Kisses, but there are others on this set that you can use. I'm going to shade the truck with gray and the hearts with pink and red. I have quite a few videos here on my channel explaining how these markers work, but if you're new here, I'll give you a quick tutorial. These are Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. They are the same hues as their single blends, except that all 3 colors are in one marker. So instead of searching for the correct shade or highlight, you have them all together in one pen. There are refills for these, so if they dry out, you can add some more ink to them. I like that each color comes in a blend combo and a shade combo, which gives me 6 colors that I know are going to go together. As I've been chatting about these, I have been adding color to the truck. I started with the darker shades and blended in the lighter hues to create shadows. I'm also using 5 of the gray colors on the image. At first, it didn't look like it was going to blend well, but as I bring in that last bit of light gray, it all starts to soften and create some light and shadow. I'm going to create a mix of color with the hearts that match the pattern papers I'm using. I'm going to use a few pinks and some reds mixed together in the back of the truck. As I add color to these, I'm making sure that the light is on the same side of each heart. On the truck, most of the light is on areas that will be raised, like the bumpers or the top. But the hearts need some shadow towards the bottom and the light to be on the upper right side. If you don't have multiple colors of pink or red, go ahead and mix some together. On one of these hearts, I mixed 2 pink shades with a little bit of red to create an additional pink color. This is really easy to do with alcohol markers. The glass and the mirror are going to be colored in with an ice blue. I am adding a little bit of shading to the sides and some softer color in the center. To lighten and soften this, I'm going to use a blender pen. This is a colorless marker that removes the color and blends it even more. I like using this when I shade white images with gray, or I need to add additional highlights to an image. You do want to be careful not to get this too close to the hearts or the sides of the truck because it will pick up those colors and blend it into the blue. While I finish this up, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button and let me know in the comments that you're a new subscriber. If you've been here a while and enjoyed today's tutorial, hit that thumbs up so that I know you enjoyed this card making video. For the final touch, I'm going to bring in a white gel pen and some highlights. I'm going to add these to the mirror, glass, and hearts. I'm also going to add a few little lines on the truck that might have some reflection. White gel pens are a great way to add details to shaded images, and I feel like they bring them to life. All right, I'm going to cut this out so we can assemble our card. The smaller piece of cardstock is going to lay in the center of the card base piece. Before I adhere this piece down, I am going to add some ribbon across the top. You could also add some patterned paper, stitching, or washi tape. I am adding a small amount of adhesive to the top half of that larger panel. Then I'm going to line this up and adhere it to the card. I find it easier to lay it onto the card while everything is folded, but you might find another way that works best for you. The next step is to adhere the lower panel in place. I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of the small area and lay this in place. As it's folded, those panels will be inside of the card, and when you open it up, you're going to be able to see the sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that little sentiment in place. I used the stamp Hugs and Kisses, but you could use any of the sentiments that come with the box of the month. On the outer panel, I'm going to adhere the truck image. I've cut this out by hand, added some foam tape to the back, and I'm centering it onto the card. To bring more dimension to this design, I've cut out the tailgate, and I'm layering it in place with foam tape. Now, how cute is that? I'm just going to add a little bow at the top and call this complete. Here is what that completed card looks like. It opens vertically to show a sentiment and the inner panels. You could add more stamped images, sentiments, or other patterns to this if you like, or rotate the card horizontally and create another unique design. This is such a super simple, fun fold card that you can make using the pattern papers and stamps in your collection. I chose ones from this Some Bunny pack, but you could use patterns from the Best Friend pad or use any of the other stamps that come in that Not Too Shabby box of the month. I hope that this project inspired you today. If you have any questions about the project or the supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.